Hi, in this video we are going to discuss about test development phase. What exactly we are going to do in test development phase, what all the different terminologies we are going to get it, those all we are going to discuss here. The first terminology is nothing but test bed. Test bed is something like where the testers are going to test the application. The environment where testers are doing their testing, that is nothing but test bed. So before we are going to perform the testing on our application, development people need to ready for us test bed, then only we can able to perform the testing on that application. Well, second one, test scenario. Test scenario is nothing but high level verification point where we are going to perform on our testing. Let me take a simple example. We have so many features in our application. High level, we are dividing the entire application into different parts. That a high level is nothing but test scenario. Let me take, as I told you, in Gmail, we are having so many functionalities. Compose functionality, inbox, sent mails, trash, so many functionalities are there. Let me tell you one scenario. Verify the compose functionality is a scenario. In the part of compose, what are all we are verifying, those all are test cases. So first you are dividing your entire application into high level scenarios. From each and every scenario, again you are deriving the low level test cases. Actually, we are performing on our application test cases. Now you may get a doubt why we need to write the test scenario instead of test cases. So directly, if at all you started writing the test cases, there may be a chance you miss some functionality. There may be a chance. So that is the reason you are splitting entire your application into high level, that is scenario. Each and every scenario, again we are deriving our what exactly we need to test on our application in the form of test cases. So like this, how we are going to perform in real time. Okay, what is test scenario template? Usually scenarios and test cases, usually most of the projects we are writing in Excel sheets. We're going to use Excel for writing the scenarios and test cases. If the client is provided any tool like Quality Center or ALM or TestLink, we're going to upload all these into a tool. But initially we are writing in a Excel sheets. So scenario template, if at all you will see serial number, scenario ID, scenario description, and requirement document ID. This you are getting from the requirement document. Requirement document, each and every requirement will have its own ID. That ID we need to update here. And the expected test case count for this scenario, how many number of test cases can you be able to derive? You no need to give exactly count here, but you need to guess and update here how many test cases we can derive for that particular scenario. And the time required for test cases. For writing the test cases, how much time is it going to take? So this is the standardized template most of the companies are using. In this format, you need to divide the entire your application into high level scenarios, and then each and every scenario in the low level we are going to write our test cases. What is the advantage of writing scenarios and test cases? What is the intention of a tester? Tester intention is not to miss any bug, not to miss testing any functionality, any feature. In that case, what exactly we are doing here is we are writing down each and everything what we supposed to test. So if at all we are writing each and everything, there will be very less chance to miss any feature or any functionality. That is the job of a manual tester. Manual tester job is writing the scenarios, writing the test cases, execute them. Execute means whatever the test cases you have written with a number of steps. Once you get the application from the development team, you need to validate. You need to perform each and every step on your application, whether it is working or not. You need to validate. If everything working, it will be a pass. Okay, that's fine. So test scenario, why we are writing? Not to miss any functionality in high level. We are writing the each and every scenario, and then we are writing the test cases for each and every scenario we are deriving. Well, so coming to the template, what are all the columns will be there in test scenario? Serial number, scenario ID, scenario description. Scenario ID, scenario description, I will show you practically how we need to write. Requirement document ID, you will get it from the requirement document. And expected test case count, how many test cases can you able to derive for that scenario, and the time required for test cases. So this is what the scenario template. For each and every scenario, we need to write the test case. Test case is nothing but we are deriving from the scenario. Scenario is a high level. For that scenario, what are all the different validations, different verification points we can do? Okay, so those are all coming under test case. So in this case, the template will be test case ID, scenario ID, for which scenario you are deriving the test case, test description, you need to provide the description of what validations you are doing there. Prerequisite, what is the prerequisite? Prerequisite is nothing but preconditions. Before you are going to perform the testing, what is the precondition? You need to have test data, you need to have environment to be ready for testing. And test steps, each and every step you need to write very clearly. For example, I want to verify the login functionality of Gmail. What steps I need to write? Open the application is my step. Enter the username, enter the password, click on login button. Gmail should display the home page. That is my test case. Coming to the Gmail registration, tell me the test case. Open the Gmail registration page, enter the username, enter the password, enter the retype password, enter the date of birth, enter the country, enter the mobile number, click on register. It should register with the Gmail. So whatever the steps you are following to validate any functionality, those all steps you need to write in this section. Each and every step there will be a expected result. Here you are going to verify what result you are expecting for that step. And till this point we are writing at the time of writing the test cases. From the actual result, what is actual result? The actual result is something we are getting from the application. From the application, whatever application is giving, that is a actual result. If expected and actual both are same, both are matching, then we can say that the test case is pass. If both are not matching, you are expecting something and your application is giving something else, then the test case is failed. You need to report that failed one to the development team. So you need to update here pass or fail, and you need to update here comments about that particular step and whether that test case is a positive or negative. You are playing with the application with the positive data, that is a positive test case. You are playing with the application with the negative data or invalid data, that is a negative test case. So these are all most of the companies are using template, and these are all the columns we are going to have. Let me brief you one more time. Test case ID, scenario ID, test description, prerequisites, test steps, expected results, actual results. So till expected result we are going to write before we are executing the test cases. At the time of we execute the test case, we will update the actual result. Whatever we are getting from the application, that is the actual result. If expected actual both are same, your test case will be passed, else your test case will be failed. Okay, so this is about your test case template. And for writing the test cases, what different type of scenarios we are going to write, what different type of test cases we will write usually. There are functional and non-functional will be there. So whatever I am explaining in the point of functional testers, so usually 4 different type of scenarios and test cases we used to write. GUI scenario, graphical user interface, we are going to verify. Buttons are there, links are there, images are there, footers, headers, checkboxes, list boxes, combo boxes, all these we need to verify. Whatever you were able to see with your eyes on the application, everything you need to verify. That is GUI scenarios. Functional positive, you need to play with your application functional positively, that is a positive scenario. Negative data, negative scenario. And field level value, before that non-functional scenario. Non-functional is completely different. Performance, load testing, stress testing, compatibility testing, usability testing, those all are coming under non-functional. I am not talking much here. Last one is a field level validation. One text field is there. It's supposed to allow 1 to 1 lakh. 1 character to 1 lakh characters. So how you will perform the testing on it? Are you going to enter 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 1 lakh? No, we're not going to do that. So to perform that type of testing, field level validation scenarios. So usually functional testers, 4 different type of scenarios we used to derive: GUI, functional positive, functional negative, and field level validation scenarios. Similarly, test cases also: GUI test case, functional positive test case, functional negative test case, and field level validation test cases. 4 different type of test cases we used to derive from the test case types also. Okay, so from GUI scenario you are going to derive the GUI test cases. Functional positive scenario you are going to derive the functional positive test cases. Functional negative scenario you are going to derive the functional negative test cases. Field level validation scenario you are going to derive the field level validation related test cases. Okay, no issues. I will show you the practically. So, and before you are going to design the test cases, especially for the field level validations, we have few techniques here. One is boundary value analysis. Second one is equivalence class partitioning. Any one of these techniques we need to use for deriving the test cases, especially for field level validation test cases. As I told you, I have one text field. It should allow 1 character to 1 lakh characters. How you will do this? Are you going to write 1 lakh test cases to verify one text field? If such text boxes are 100 are there in our application, 100 lakh test cases you are going to, it means 1 crore test cases only for text fields. That is a wrong idea. You should not do like that. So whenever you want to validate any text field size, what it should allow, so these any one of these 2 techniques we need to use. One is boundary value analysis. Second one is equivalence class partitioning. Boundary value analysis is telling you, if you want to verify any text field size, it is telling only 6 values you need to verify: minimum -1, minimum +1, maximum -1, maximum +1. In this case, I have taken only 5 to 20 characters it should allow for text field. 5 to 20 characters, for example. Minimum -1, 5 -1, 4, minimum 5, minimum +1, 6. Maximum -1, 19, maximum +1, 20, maximum 20, maximum +1, 21. So in this case, 4 and 21 are negative. Between these 4 are positive. So if your text field is 1 to 1 lakh characters will be there, then tell me what are all the 6 test cases you need to verify? 1 to 1 lakh. 1 means minimum, 1 lakh is the maximum. Minimum -1, 1 -1, 0, minimum 1, minimum +1, 2, 99,999, 1 lakh, 1 lakh +1. These are all the 6 cases I need to verify. I should not write 1 lakh test cases in this scenario. That is about the boundary value analysis technique. Any text field you need to verify the size of it, then you should need to write the only 6 test cases. Minimum -1, minimum +1, maximum -1, maximum +1. Similarly, some companies may use equivalence class partitioning also. This technique is telling is only 3 test cases for each text field: less than minimum, greater than maximum, between minimum and maximum. In this case, 1 to 1 lakh characters will be there. Less than minimum, I can take 0. Between 1 and 1 lakh, I can take 50,000. Greater than maximum, I can take 1 lakh 10. So 2 negative, 1 positive. If it is working, then that text field should work. That's it. We should not write those many number of test cases and all. So this will be same for any text field. If at all you want to test any text field, the procedure is same. Either you need to use the boundary value analysis or equivalence class partitioning. Any one of the technique you can use in between these 2. Okay, well, so what is the advantage of these 2 techniques? We can reduce the number of test cases. Instead of writing thousands of test cases, we can reduce it to single number. That is the advantage with this. So most of the companies will use boundary value analysis, and also some companies may use equivalence class partitioning also based on their requirement. Next technique is in test case design techniques. The third one is error guessing technique. Who will guess the errors? Any example you can take. Who will guess the errors? who is already having some knowledge on it, who is already having some past experience on it, they can guess the errors. Who is already having past experience, they can guess the errors. So this error guessing technique done by the experienced people by using their knowledge. So some test cases, the experienced people, they are going to write based on their knowledge where they can think that we may get a bugs in our application. So they are going to write those test cases also. That is, the technique is error guessing technique. Freshers cannot write these test cases. Why? Because freshers doesn't have much knowledge on it. How they will guess it? So who are all the experienced people are there, based on their past experience, they can guess the errors where they may get in our application. So they will write some test cases around it. Right. Well, next, last technique is decision table. It is used for deriving the regression and integration test cases. Main advantage of decision table is it is used for deriving the regression and integration test cases. What is regression testing? When something is changed or some functionality is added, we need to verify the existing functionality is not getting impacted. That is regression testing. What is integration testing? One functionality to other functionality properly combined or not, or one functionality to other functionality, the data flow is happening properly or not. That is nothing but integration testing. These two different type of testing related test cases we are deriving by using decision table. Okay, so see here, we are going to prepare this table. Who will prepare this table? Who are having complete knowledge on entire application, they can able to prepare this table, because we need to know each functionality to other functionality, what are all the interrelations are there. So functionality 1 is there. It is related with what? Functionality 2. So we are going to take left side all the functionalities, top all the functionalities, and we are going to update this table. What are all the functionalities are interrelated or integrated or having relation? There we are going to update Y. It means that it is interrelated. So based on this, the testers will follow this table. They are going to write a integration test case. What? Functionality 1, something they are doing, it is going to impact into a functionality 2. Functionality 2, some change will be there, it is going to update into a functionality 3. Functionality 3, some changes happen, functionality 3 will be impacted. Similarly, functionality N is integrated with functionality 3 and functionality N. So it means that we are going to take left side all the functionalities, top side all the functionalities. We are going to update Y in the part of what are all the modules are integrated. So while doing the integration testing or writing the integration test cases, we can use this table to derive the test cases. So what are all the functionalities are interrelated, we will get it. Similarly, regression. If some functionality is changed in modified in functionality 3, in the part of regression, what is interrelated functionality? Let me assume, okay, in this case it is wrong. Let me assume here also Y is there. Okay, for example, functionality 3, okay, some functionality is modified. In the part of regression testing, what you need to verify? Functionality 2 you need to verify, because related functionalities you need to verify in the part of regression testing. So our intention is not breaking of any functionality. So that is how this decision table is useful for deriving the integration test cases and regression test cases. So this is about the test development phase. In this test development phase, so test bed we have discussed. Test bed is a test environment. Test environment we have discussed here, and test scenario. Test scenario is what? Test scenario is nothing but high level verification points. So whenever you have the big application and all, first you need to divide in testing point of view into high level flows. That is a scenario. Each scenario again you are going to write low level flows. That is a test case. And for deriving the test cases, so for preparing the test cases, you need to use some techniques like boundary value analysis technique and equivalence class partitioning technique. Any one of these techniques you can use. How many types of scenarios we are having? GUI, functional positive, functional negative, and field level validation test cases. Okay, well, and decision table, what is the use of this one? Decision table is used for deriving the integration related and regression testing related test cases. So who are having complete knowledge on the entire application, they are going to prepare this table and they will upload, they will share this document to everybody in our project. Everybody will refer this table, what are all the relations between different modules, and they will derive these related test cases. And very important interview questions I have covered in this video. So many important interview questions. Interview, they may ask you, what is your test scenario? What is your test scenario template? How many test cases you can derive for each scenario on an average? That question also they may ask you. How many scenarios you are having for your application? Each scenario, what is the maximum test case count you derived? What is your test case template? How you are deriving the test cases? What are the different techniques you are using to derive the test cases? What is boundary value analysis? What is equivalence partitioning? What is error guessing technique? Whether you involved in error guessing or not? What is decision table technique? What is the use of this one? What type of test cases you can derive from there? So these are all the questions they may ask you in the interview. I hope now you can able to answer all these. Okay, that's all for this video. In the next video, I'm going to cover practically some test cases, how we need to write scenarios. Those all things we will discuss. Okay, thank you.